Hello, thayerperiod Nation. Today we're going to be breaking down how I produced / made my song 10,000 Dogs. Here's what it sounds like if you haven't heard it already. Yeah, on the surface, it doesn't sound like a super complicated beat, but there's a couple different interesting things going on that I'm excited to talk about, so let's get into it. So the first thing we've got is this pluck sound. And in terms of sound design, it is actually not super duper complicated. This is the second single from my upcoming album, All Dogs Go to Heaven, and I think I made this pluck when I was working on the first track. I was so enchanted by it that I used it on, I think, pretty much every song, which I think is a nice way to kind of tie the tracks together. But it's really just a saw wave with a envelope on a low pass filter, so just like a saw wave pluck. But I find the kind of magic with filtered saw wave plucks is based on where you have your cutoff being modulated by your LFO or whatever. It can really change the sound of that pluck pretty drastically. So I just found that this specific spot just sounded super soft and kind of analog-y. And yeah, it was just, I was like, yeah, this is awesome. The filter cutoff is at 814 hertz. For effects, we just have a ping pong delay and a reverb. And yeah, kind of goes to show simplicity, if it gets the job done, there's no need to overcomplicate stuff. We also have that same pluck duplicated up an octave. Exact same serum patch. I just wanted to provide kind of an extra higher layer to that synth, to make it feel a little more full when everything kind of comes in. Then the next sound we got is this other pluck. Again, a super similar sound. We've got two saw waves for our main oscillators and a low pass filter being modulated again. But again, this has a slightly different tone to that other pluck, even though it's a really similar sound. This one feels a little brighter, a little warmer, I would say. That is in part due to the fact that we have both of our oscillator A and B activated, and our oscillator B is pitched up 5 cents, which causes a little bit of detune / phasing on our sound. Not super noticeable, but it definitely does have a little bit of an impact on the final timbre. The envelope 2 is in control of the cutoff on this low pass filter, cutoff at 412 hertz, resonance cranked up pretty high as well. But yeah, this kind of sound design was really my bread and butter for this project. I was really trying to make lots of nice, natural, warm sounding synths. And then we just have a super fat reverb on that as well. And yeah, shout out Serum for having a pretty good reverb. Next we got this lead. Again, just a saw wave for our main oscillator. We have our LFO1 set to modulate the fine pitch of our synth, kind of making it do a little bit of a pitch wobble, pretty fast. We have it set to non-BPM mode, so it's going at 10 hertz. Very reminiscent of early 2000s pop stuff, I would say, like Passion Pit / MGMT. That was kind of the inspiration behind it. And for effects, we just have a flanger, kind of pushing it back a little bit because there's a pretty bright sound, so I kind of wanted to pull it out of your face just a little bit. And also just a ping pong delay and an EQ to again shave some of that high and low end off to again take it out of your face. The final sound we got that I made in Serum is this bass pluck. Again, pretty dang simple. If we look at our waveform here, we have a saw wave with some extra harmonics added. This makes it just a little brighter / fuller than a normal sine wave. The way that you do that and draw on those extra harmonics is you just go to this pencil tool on your wavetable. Then, since I wanted to add some warmth, we're just gonna increase this bar right here. And you can hear already it has a lot more life to it. Kind of the higher up you go with these bars, the more higher pitch they're gonna be. Very organy. But yeah, I just wanted to make it a little warmer than a basic sine wave. Lucky envelope shape here. And we're just running that through a soft clipper. And yeah, honestly, nothing super crazy sound design wise going on. Just a lot of pretty simple elements used well together. On both of our main synths, I have a balance tool set to control the volume. Then I just have a little automation here causing a little bit of like a volume dive at the beginning of each kind of hit. This is a tool I kind of like to employ when I have a song with a lot of layers and they're all kind of stagnant. I think, you know, having some movement is a really great way to add some rhythm into a track, especially one with not a lot of drums like this song. But yeah, it mainly just helps create space for the other elements. And yeah, I don't know, just like a little bit of a groove to dance or move to. Also later in the song, I have that main melody with 2 gross beats on it just to provide a nice little bit of a lower layer. Like I said, just running that through 2 gross beats with half speed, doing a little bit of distortion with Decapitator, which is my go-to distortion plugin. We have a tremolator on there as well, kind of doing a little bit of volume automation. Like I said, trying to kind of create a little bit of rhythm / movement in an otherwise kind of stagnant part. Then finally, we just have a fruity chorus on there to make it a little wider. Oh yeah, we also have this organ part from Analog Lab. It comes in during the second half of the chorus. It's just this soul sacrifice preset. I like Analog Lab a lot. I know I talk about Serum quite often, but Analog Lab is my like secondary go-to synth. Again, I have tremolator on that to provide us some movement, make it a little less stagnant. Then the final element we've got going on is these drums that kind of come in during the verse and the end of the song. About to make a lot of people angry, but 2 of these are just default FL Studio drum loops. I actually use default FL drum loops quite often in my music because I feel like they have a certain charm to them that you don't get sometimes with like super nice high quality drum loops. Doing some kind of fun magic with these. The main drum loop we have going on is this Deal Breaker one. I am boosting it a little bit to make it a little kind of clippy / distorted. I wanted to add some crunch and then I pitched it around. Then we've got this stadium drum loop. But something interesting I'm doing with this is I have a bit of a volume automation up here, causing it to just come in on the offbeats. Sounds stupid by itself, but when you layer them together, it's actually pretty nice. And it just helps fill it out a little bit. I also have the Think Break layered in as well. I'm again running that through tremolator to kind of give it some movement and not be in the way as much of those other drum loops. And we're also running that through a fab filter just to cut our low end out so it doesn't have as much clashing with the other drums as well. And yeah, production-wise, that's pretty much all the elements. In terms of our vocals, I have a decent amount going on, lots of layers.
Anyway, I love them so they bring me comfort no matter the situation.
We've got our main layer.
Dogs, I love them so they bring me comfort no matter the situation.
Then some backing ones as well.
Dogs, I love them so they bring me comfort no matter the situation.
I normally kind of try to do around 5 background layers for my vocals. I just find it makes them sound a lot fuller. I also like, you know, singing harmonies. I think that's something that can definitely increase the like bigness of your vocals. I also used the reverse reverb trick as well to get a little bit of a ghost effect on these. And yeah, that is pretty much everything. Like I said, not a super complicated track, but I think pretty well executed one. But yeah, if you enjoyed that, 10,000 Dogs out now on all platforms. Go stream it, go run it up. I appreciate everyone who's been checking it out already and sending me nice comments. And yeah, I love you guys, and hopefully this was helpful / interesting / yeah. Alrighty, I'll catch you next time.
Anyway.